philosophizing on things. Metaphysics is not, watching videos or reading books. You know what I mean? Someone with a spiritual practice can do these things. They can have spiritual experiences happen to them and work to figure out what that means, or why it may have happened. But a metaphysician is a scientific term. So, metaphysics is a scientific term. So a metaphysician is a scientist. So a scientist doesn't just read a scientist doesn't just read a book on chemistry and suddenly they're a chemist. Yes, they have knowledge and information. They have information, really not knowledge. They have information on chemistry, on being what it means to be a scientist. But they are no scientists just by reading the book. Watching videos is not going to make you a true metaphysician. Reading books is not going to make you a true metaphysician. Be a scientist. That means conduct your own experiments. A metaphysician is one who is putting in work. Who is actively throughout the day. It doesn't have to be the whole day, But ideally, yes, there is some sort of metaphysical practice at work throughout the day. Whether it's strengthening concentration, enabling visualization, utilizing living meditatively, whatever it is, breath work. There is some way a metaphysician can incorporate metaphysics into their life throughout the entire day. But that is the primary source of a metaphysician's power, and what determines and defines what a metaphysician is someone who is actively putting in the practice, creating experiences for themselves. Because otherwise it's just a belief. If you watch a lot of videos or read a lot of books or talk with a lot of people about, spirituality and things, your experiences that you were having, that's just information. Those are just beliefs that you were cultivating. Maybe you're eliminating old beliefs that are no longer productive for you, and maybe you're cultivating new beliefs, but a belief is just a thought you continue to think. That's just thinking differently, and that does produce a lot, and you will change and grow through that. I'm not here downing anybody on wherever they're at and their approach and how fast they want to do it. But some people look at others and see, wow, they are growing at such a rapid pace. They are changing, and I don't even recognize this person anymore. Because they are incorporating so much into their life that they are actually actively practicing these things. So, and what I mean by that isn't just like, I wake up in the morning and I have an affirmation that I say, 10 times, 100 times. That's not it. If we're talking about affirmations, the way a metaphysician will approach affirmation is saying it at the minimum 1,000 times a day for 90 days. Ideally, you want to be up to 5,000 times a day within the first 30 days. And then the next 60, it's 5,000 times a day minimum, just going. I'm worthy, I'm valuable, I deserve everything I desire. I'm worthy, I'm valuable, I deserve everything I desire. I'm worthy, I'm valuable, I deserve everything I desire. I'm worthy, I'm valuable, I deserve everything I desire. Brushing their teeth, I'm worthy, I'm valuable, I deserve everything I desire. What's going on in their head? They're not talking while they brushing their teeth, But just it's going, driving to work. I'm worthy, I'm valuable, I deserve everything I desire. I'm worthy, I'm valuable, I deserve everything I desire. And by the time you get like 2 weeks in doing this and striving to hit 5,000 words or 5,000 times a day, after about 2 weeks, you can be having full-blown conversations and it's just running on its own in the background. I'm worthy, I'm valuable, I deserve everything I desire. 30 days in, you falling asleep with it going, I'm worthy, I'm valuable, I deserve everything I desire. You waking up with it, I'm worthy, I'm valuable, I deserve everything I desire. That's how a metaphysician would approach affirmations, turning it into a mantra. I have a video on that, but same thing with like breath work. If you're seeing this video by now, I'm sure you've come across plenty of different exercises for working with the breath. It's like a 6-3-6 breathing. Breathe in for 6. Hold for 3. Breathe out for 6. Or the box breathing, inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. The breath of fire. The Wim Hof method, or the rhythmic breathing, or the intuitive breathing. It's an ancient practice, but these different breathing, and that's more like major leagues type thing. So you doing that, you definitely dipping your toes into being a metaphysician and going deep with it, because that's going to do a lot. But anyways, just having a regular breathing practice is one thing, but incorporating it into your life all in major ways. And what I mean by, not just incorporating into your life, like, oh, well, anytime I kind of get upset or feel anxious, I do the long breath, like you showed me, Tarak. You know what I mean? I don't mean just, utilizing these techniques, but I mean exactly that, being a metaphysician, being a scientist with these principles and metaphysical concepts. So what I mean by that is create a study for yourself revolving the breath. You know what I mean? I am going to give 30 minutes a day where I just give all of my attention on the breath. I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to, do any particular type of breathing. I'm just going to watch it and observe it for 30 minutes every single day for 90 days. And then I'm going to see what happens. But and that's not where it stops. You know what I mean? You're going to be a scientist. What would a scientist do? A scientist needs to document their study, their findings. You know what I mean? They're cultivating their own data so that they can analyze it and see what they truly discovered by the end of it. You know what I mean? So you want to do that day one. You know what I mean? It's 11:49 p.m., December 6th. It's kind of cold. I'm in a very giving state of mind. I am feeling excited. Talk about everything. It was raining earlier today, and this is the first day I'm doing this. Okay, and so you definitely want to put your emotional state and your mental state, but put as many details as you can. You know what I mean? I was wearing a hoodie and feeling very comfortable that day, and then do the exercise, and then after you're done, journal your experience. You know what I mean? What did you experience? I saw some vibrant purple smoky colors for a moment. By the end of it, I heard a subtle ringing in my ear. You know what I mean? Write all of these things down and then do it the very next day. Ideally, you will pick a time throughout the day and a space to do it regularly every day. Now, and I always suggest, mix it up, do morning, do evening, do middle of the day, see what works best for you and document these things. So I wouldn't suggest, you can do it however you want, you know what I mean? But as long as you are being a scientist with it and really, really being disciplined in how you're incorporating into your life, that's when you are a metaphysician. That's when you will truly be accelerating. You know what I mean? If you do this, you're getting 10 times the amount of value out of it and transformation that someone who does this exact same thing, but only does it for 10 minutes, but you're doing it for 30 minutes. You know what I mean? For someone who does it 3 times a week and you're doing it every fucking day. You know what I mean? And so what you want to do, what I would suggest doing if you're doing as far as like testing out different times is for 2 weeks, do it at 11 p.m. every single night in the same space. And then for the next 2 weeks, do it at 8 a.m. every morning in the same space. And then for the next 2 weeks, do it at 1 p.m. every single day for the next 2 weeks in the same space. And now you have 6 weeks and you can have a better feel and understanding. You've been doing it for 6 weeks now. So you're no stranger to this technique and what it should be doing for you. And so you can more easily see, okay, I actually had much better results with doing it this way during the experience. But my days were better when I was doing it at this time. It might be like, I felt so much better while I was doing it at night. But my day was so much better when I was doing it in the morning. You know what I mean? You can have these discoveries so much faster than someone who's just, I'm feeling a little anxious, so I'm going to do some breathing. I'm feeling a little angry, so I'm going to do a little breathing. And just kind of just doing it as it comes and goes. Same thing with like dreams. That's why, dreams are the number. I don't know how anyone, well, I do know. I was going to say, I don't know how anyone can really take themselves serious with a spiritual practice or being a metaphysician without working with their dreams. But I do know because, even though I was working with my dreams a lot, it was more, so I didn't know how to decode them. So even though I knew that there was something there and I just had this epic dream and it was in the middle of all these other, major shifts and transformations I was going through, I didn't know how to decode it. So I didn't really spend that much time on it. But knowing how to decode, it's like, man, this is the number one tool that you have that's giving you a the number one most pertinent lesson that you need in life right now, where your attention and focus needs to be right now, every single day, is being delivered to you. That lesson, that focus, that game plan, that lesson plan is being given to you every single day for you to wake up and execute every single day. And so, but you have to know how to decode it, and so, and that's why, the Dream Interpretation Masterclass is one of the first courses that I put together, so that people can discover how to do that for themselves, because a lot of people come to me all the time. I mean, I have probably 30 different dreams I interpret 30 different dreams that people are sending to me every single day. I interpret as many as I can, on top of my own, on top of my wife's, on top of my kids, and other friends and family, so I try to do as much as I can, but also you need to be empowered and enabled. A real metaphysician ultimately, after at least, at the most 2 years, you shouldn't be needing, after like 2 or 3 years, there should be no need for any type of coach or guru or teacher or mentor or anything, because you should know how to discover. I mean, you can definitely utilize those. I mean, I still have people like mentors that I go to and just regularly meet with and talk about, because just having, I mean, you could go to a complete stranger and talk about things that you're experiencing, and even if they don't understand the spiritual experiences you're describing or transformations you're going through, even if they're not a spiritual person, even if they're not a very smart person, just the fact that they have an objective perspective, they would be able to give you so much more insight than you can see being subjective to the experience. So, I still have, and I always suggest having people that you can go to for that, but you don't necessarily need that once you get to evolve to a point where you will become your own teacher and guide. And the greatest resource that your inner teacher is giving you is through your dreams. So it is vital to understand how to decode those dreams. And in the Dream Interpretation Masterclass, you learn how to do that with 100% clarity and accuracy. I mean? Really, it would only take you like 4 days, giving it an hour or two a day to get through all the videos. You'll get the dream symbol glossary. You'll get my book, Life is But a Dream, understanding yourself through understanding your dreams, along with the dream symbol. And there's 4 lessons in there. I mean, it's anyways, by the time you get through with it, you will have everything that you need to start learning how to decode and learn that language and become fluent in it, to where you can clearly communicate back and forth with your inner soul, your subconscious mind, your intuition, your intuitive self, your real self, your true self, which those are all kind of separate things. But a true metaphysician is someone who is doing these things. They are, looking at when things come up in life, when issues come up with other people, there is no blame going on outside of the self. If I have something come up at work, I'm not blaming a coworker on why I had that happen. Now, they may have made a mistake and I may be like, man, what the fuck are they thinking? Why would they do that? But as far as the cause of me having that experience, me being the one who's experiencing this, I know and understand. I'm looking at myself. What could I have done differently? Oh, you know what? Maybe I could have prefaced the whole situation. And even though I feel they should understand the next steps, let me go ahead and outline that in an email for them before I send this project over to them. You know what I mean? And so maybe if I would have done that better, it's like going to a restaurant. You know what I mean? If you sit there and order a pizza and you want it a certain type of way, I don't really like a lot of sauce, but you just order the pizza and it comes back saucy and you get upset. Why? You can't be upset at the restaurant. You can't be upset at the cook. I could have let the server know, I don't really like a lot of sauce. I don't know how y'all do the sauce, but if you just make sure it's not real heavy on the sauce, maybe I preface that a little bit. What can I do? If me and my wife have an argument, or she, comes to me with something, I'm not, or something just comes up, I'm not immediately looking at her like, oh, you need to change this. You need to change doing like this. You need to change being like this. You know what I mean? I'm looking at myself. Man, what can I do different that will help her, be like, that will support her moving in a different way. You know what I mean? I'm looking at myself and because I can't change anyone or anything outside of myself. I can only make changes within myself, and then your outer environment is a direct reflection of your inner environment. So if you want anything to change outside of yourself, you have to first change it within yourself. So why, if it's like wanting to remove a weed, man, this weed is getting in the way of my garden. If I just snap the weed on the outside, that's not actually going to change anything. I may feel like something's changing, but it's not actually changing. You have to dig out the root and uproot it. Let me see how much battery I got left, because I only had like 11%, y'all. but these type of approaches to life is how a metaphysician is able to accelerate so much faster in their spiritual development. You know what I mean? Because if I like with me and my wife, if I go to her and tell her, you know what, I don't really like how you moving in this way. I don't really like how you say things like this, or I don't really like how you bring this up, or anything like that, or I don't really like when we're out in public and this happens, or I don't really like anything, anything at all. All type of relationships have all type of issues that come up. But if I go to her and I tell her I want her to move differently, that's not really going to change the problem, like change what's causing this experience that is either creating disharmony or that I don't like or she doesn't like. It's going to remove the weed from the surface. So at the time being, it's going to look like things are different, things are better. But if that root isn't handled, it's going to keep coming up. So, looking at things within yourself on how can I change? You know what I mean? It's like creating harmony. If you have two keys on a piano, like ding, ding, you don't have to be on the same level of the piano to be in harmony. You know what I mean? You've got the same notes at the top as well as at the bottom. Ding, ding. You know what I mean? I'm not a musician like that. So that still may be off key or whatever. But you can just, if you're trying to shift both keys to try to find the harmony, it's going to take a lot longer than if this key that's just like this, and you just move yourself to find the harmony and rhythm with that other person, that other individual, that other space in your life, then it'll be a lot easier to create harmony outside of yourself. But it starts within. So a true metaphysician is going to look at that. What can I do differently? How can I shift internally to then create this shift externally? Your dreams, and back to your dreams. Your dreams are going to help you with that. Understanding these metaphysical concepts and principles and things that you do receive from different videos and books and things will help you to go about that. But you have to incorporate it in your life. You can't just talk about it. You can't just think about it. You have to put it to practice regularly and consistently with regular discipline in order to see the results. You know what I mean? And documenting it is key. So that's the main thing that I would suggest. I mean, you can, reach out to me on whatever it is you're working with, and I can help you, come up with different, techniques or a game plan to incorporate. But, those were just a couple things that people regularly come up with that a metaphysician is going to approach a little differently. But at the core of it is essentially creating experiences for yourself, because through the law of believing and knowing, the difference between believing something and truly knowing something is experience. You know what I mean? Creating experiences for yourself is how you are going to generate knowledge, and then applying that knowledge back into your life is what true wisdom is. And so that is at the core of what it truly means to be a metaphysician. Like I said, it's not sitting around talking about things or thinking about things, conceptualizing, consuming content and things. That does help. I'm not down on it at all. You know what I mean? It has its place. But if you're someone who wants to accelerate quickly and more rapidly, you want to see big shifts and big changes in your life, you have to put in that work. You have to be willing to be disciplined. You have to be willing to strengthen your willpower and then utilize your willpower. You know what I mean? So if you want to know more and more ways to do that, and this is only 20-minute video, so I could only go so deep on so much. But I would want to go deeper, but I got like 3% left. So hit the link in the description to work with me. Check out the mentor program. And if that's not for you, you can always join the community. Metaphysical Mastery Community. There's tons of resources in there. There's tons of people in there that you can also, talk with, work with, grow with. And, as always, I leave you all in peace.